Welcome into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. I know all losses are difficult, but what was your message to the team knowing that this one affected the spot in the NFC South, and then also just when it is kind of a tough last-minute loss and what it means moving forward, what you said to them?
Just got to keep grinding. We didn't play our best. Obviously, we had a chance to win. We didn't come down with it. And I don't mean just the fourth quarter, all four quarters. We had chances to make plays in all three phases that we didn't make after playing well for a couple of weeks. So we got to get ready to play this one. You can't get nowhere unless you win the next two. So we got to win the next two and then look up at the end and see where we are.
And what happened on the fumble at the end of the game? Was that more of a good defensive play or something that could have been prevented?
It can always be prevented if you hold on to the football, but the guy did a good job ripping the ball out. Rashad was trying to get extra yards. He did a good job taking it away.
And then I know you guys were, in the position to get the game winner at the end right there. And just what did it say about your guys to be able to come back like that and be in that position?
The fight is always there. Well, it wasn't one of the best games by no means by all three phases. But the fight to have a chance to win at the end says a lot about the guys' drive and the guys want to. We just got to execute better.
Definitely one of the areas we see that fight and that drive is especially, Baker always, but especially the ways he's able to extend some of the plays, use his legs. He ended up with 42 yards rushing. How important were some of those contributions of his scramble ability and ability to extend it in that way?
They were huge because we were having a tough time getting first downs, especially on third down with their pressure packages, but he got loose a couple of times and gave us a chance.
And then I also know he had that interception. Can you take us through that play and what happened?
Well, I thought it was a good ball. He threw a deep ball down to J-Mac. I think he got off balance once he got up in the air. The guy made a heck of a play raking it out. We just got to hold on to the football.
And then I know Baker ended up with over 300 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He now has 5 300 passing yard games this season, which ties for second in the NFL, trailing only Joe Burrow. How do you evaluate his game overall?
It was up and down. Nobody was good enough, obviously. We got to take care of the football, obviously. He got sacked a couple times, so we got to keep him clean in the pocket. And we just got to make better decisions all the way around. It's not just Baker, it's offensively, defensively, and special teams-wise, as well as coaches.
I also know Baker was able to recover Payne Durham's fumble, and I was just thinking about how incredible it is that he's had multiple of those kind of recoveries this year, and it seems like he's just always downfield able to make some of those plays, whether it's that or even blocking sometimes downfield on these plays, and just what that says about him as a player and as a quarterback, that he's been the guy in those positions to make some of those plays.
He has very good field awareness. He always understands where the ball is. He's always heading towards the ball, so if something like that happens, he has a very good chance to get the ball back.
And then I know we also rushed for 134 yards in the game, averaged 5.8 yards per carry. That's the 12th 100-yard rushing game in 15 games so far already this season. So what stood out specifically about the run game to you to be hearing, again, just the consistency in those kind of numbers?
Well, we had a few that broke out, but I think Baker had some of that yardage too as far as the scrambles. We didn't run it as well as we'd like to run it. We got to be a little more consistent that way considering what we've been doing, but Baker made up for some of those runs, and we had some good, hard, tough runs. We just got to do more of it.
And how did you feel about the balance of run to pass in the game and with some hindsight on that?
I thought we were shooting ourselves in the foot a lot, be it by protection purposes or be it by not getting yards in the run game or be it by missing a pass here or there. They did a good job getting us in second and long, and the first downs we did make were hard fought. We just got to do a better job.
I know Bucky ended up with 68 yards rushing, 24 receiving, and his 7th career touchdown. What did you see from his game overall?
Again, he grinded out hard, tough yards on the inside. They made it tough on us right there, but he grinded some tough plays out, especially in the second half to start the second half, and he gave us a chance.
I know he tied Eric Brett and Lars Tate for the second most rushing touchdowns by a rookie running back in team history. And he currently leads all rookies in rushing touchdowns with 7 and yards from scrimmage and rushing yards. Specifically with the end zone, how he's been able to find that so often. I mean, we've seen the chunk plays, early in the field, but to find the end zone that many times as a rookie, what has he done well in that area?
Well, his vision is outstanding. His vision and his cut ability is outstanding. He can see the holes. He's hungry. He has great contact balance, and he's a very good inside zone runner.
I know Rashad also moved into the 6th most receiving yards by a running back in team history. Outside of that fumble we talked about earlier at the end of the game, how did he look?
He was fighting. He gave us a chance. I mean, he had some tough runs as well. He had some good receiving yards there. Just got to hold on to the ball at the end.
I know Jalen McMillan, again, we already talked about that interception earlier, but 57 yards and a touchdown. What did you see from him in this game?
He played hard. He played hard. He fought. I thought the receivers played hard, even when Sterling came up shorthanded with the hamstring. I thought those guys really competed. They competed.
I know he also got his 4th touchdown in 3 games. It's the 2nd longest streak of games by a rookie with a receiving touchdown in team history, which trailing only, of course, Mike Evans. He joins Marvin Harrison Jr. as the only rookies with receiving touchdowns in 3 consecutive games this season. What does it seem like has changed with him or happened lately where he is suddenly just every game felt so automatic, such a big target here, and especially in the end zone, to have those kind of stats that are pretty rare, obviously, for a rookie receiver?
I think he's matured a lot as the season went on. He went through his bumps early on. He got nicked up a little bit. Then he got used to the scheme, and he understood what he was doing, and he started playing faster and faster, and everybody started trusting him more, and he's paying dividends right now.
I know also we have 12 scrimmage touchdowns from rookies this season, which is the most among all NFL teams this year. Bucky has his 7, which is first among rookies in rushing touchdowns, and then Jalen McMillan has 5, which is tied for 3rd among rookies. Did you anticipate our rookie class having this kind of an impact on the season and on these games so much already this year?
I knew they'd have an impact, didn't know how much of an impact. They're having a huge impact off of everything we do, so I'm glad we got them.
And then also I know Mike finished with 69 yards, including a 26-yarder. Can you especially take us through that one longer catch earlier in the game?
No, Mike can catch it anytime you throw it up to him. He runs great routes. He plays fast. He plays hard, and he's a long target. So anytime you single him, he can squeeze it in. He can make plays, and he made them.
How much did you see him having an effect on the overall plan and the way that the Cowboys defense was focusing on him?
They focused on him a little bit. We still missed some shots that we had him one-on-one that we could have taken right there due to other things up front and with the quarterback. So we can do a better job getting on the ball in certain situations.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Todd Bowles Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. I know we mentioned that Baker got brought down a few times. He ended up being sacked 4 times total. How much was it on the line, Baker, coverage? What did you see from those types of sacks?
I mean, some was pressure, some was the line, and some we could have got the ball out. So it's a combination of things that we just got to do a better job of executing.
And what did you see from the offensive line overall in this game, both in pass protection and the run game?
Pass protection, we had some where we were really good sets, and we had some that weren't so good. Obviously, the 4 sacks, you don't want it all, but we've done a better job in the past than we did last night.
I know we had talked a lot, obviously, about Micah Parsons going into the game. He finished with a sack and a forced fumble. How did you feel like overall we were able to handle him?
I thought initially we did a good job on him. We were holding him at bay for a while. Obviously, he got loose one time, but for the most part, I thought we held him in check.
I know we mentioned Sterling Shepard earlier, 1 catch for 20 yards and a rush for 14, a couple missed opportunities, and ended up getting hurt in the game. What did you see from before he got hurt, and then just what we know about potentially his future with the injury?
Well, we had the 2 drops early, especially the one on 4th down we had a chance to get, and then we had another one later on after that. But he competes, he plays hard. We'll see how his injury's doing. Don't know yet. We'll see what the injury report says.
I know also Cade Otton was not out there. How much did you end up missing him and the ways that just his presence and the fact that he does tend to play so many snaps, do so many things for this offense, how much of an impact did that have?
I always miss him as a starter. Anytime you're missing a starter, you're missing something. Obviously, Payne went out there and did a decent job right there. He fought and he plays hard as well. But when you're missing Cade, you're missing a lot of the intangibles.
Yeah, Payne did have his career high in catches and yards. We saw him get a conversion on 3rd down. How did he handle stepping into Cade's pretty big shoes to fill?
Payne's tough. He's going to be a good player. He's a good football player. We just hadn't used him in those capacities yet, but his time is coming.
I know Ryan Miller also has had to step up in some big moments so far this season and had that touchdown at the end to give us that chance to be fighting for it at the very end. What did you see from that play and just his ability to stand in there in those big moments? Ryan
plays smart. He plays tough. He knows what to do. He knows how to get open. He has very sure hands, and you're starting to see his production go up.
I know their kicker, Brandon Aubrey, already has 7 career field goals of over 58 yards. In NFL history, only Matt Prater has more. What is the struggle of your game planning and just facing a team that their kicker can be so accurate from so long?
It's tough when they get the ball at the 35 or 40 because one first down and they're pretty much at field goal range. And once you get across midfield, he's been pretty good at it, and he did a good job last night.
Yeah, I mean, he puts you in a position where maybe there are times that normally other teams it would have been a punt situation. But outside of his kicking ability, what wasn't working as well early on defense to know that they ended up scoring on a lot of their earlier drives in the first half?
Too many penalties on the outside from holding standpoint. We missed the coverage as far as an over route was concerned in the first half, and I think that was really it. The second half we bogged down and got some stops and gave us a chance.
Yeah, what did you see that changed so much in the second half to go from that to holding them to just 3 points all second half? Maybe some of the adjustments you made or ways guys started stepping up and executing more?
Just executing better, assignment football, understanding what they were trying to do to us, and then executing.
I know you guys were able to hold Dowdle to a team-high 23 yards rushing. How proud of your run defense were you and the fact that you guys were able to slow him down so much?
Run defense has really picked up lately. Those guys do a good job getting after it up front. They take a lot of pride in it.
I know also CeeDee Lamb ended up with 105 receiving yards, even while missing some time. We had talked about going into this game knowing that he's a tough one to cover, very, very talented guy. So what did you end up seeing out there of the challenges in covering him and what you feel like your DBs and corners learned about it?
I thought we could have been better from a technique standpoint. We talked about it all week. We understood what he was going to do. We knew what he was going to do. He did a good job getting open downfield on Zion. He misjudged the ball, but I thought he had a holding call earlier. And then we dropped coverage on one of the over routes right there, and we missed 3 tackles when he scored the touchdown. So a lot of that contributed. He's a great player, not taking anything away from him, but we could have played him better.
Yeah, and then how about specifically on that 52-yarder he caught? What did you notice about the coverage there?
We busted, and we should have been a lot better. But that's the one he got down the sideline, I'm pretty sure. But Zion had him, and he played bad technique looking in the backfield, and he'll be the first one to tell you his eyes got to be better.
All right, we're going to take another quick break here on the Todd Bowles Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. I know Vita's stat line may not have looked all that crazy or impressive, but definitely seemed like he was making his presence felt, especially when he slung poor Turpin down. A hard day for him. Tell me how much Vita was impacting the game in ways that maybe didn't show up on the stat line.
Vita was huge. He impacted the run game a lot. He took the doubles, he crossed face, he got in the backfield quite a few times. He helped other guys make plays, and when you have a guy in the middle like that that can control a run game completely, you never underestimate the value of him.
I know there was a shared sack by Yaya and Kalijah. Take us through that play and what they did well.
We had a pressure going on. They both got around the corner pretty good. They met at the quarterback. Kalijah's very active on the inside. Yaya, he's getting pressure from a power standpoint. Just got to use his hands a little more to come around the corner, but he got back there that time.
Kalijah now has the team lead in sacks. Did you anticipate that this is the kind of season Kalijah could be having, and particularly in that category?
I thought if he didn't miss the first 5 games, he'd be in double digits right now.
And what do you feel like has led to him being able to come in second year and even missing time both years so far to be able to have those kind of stats and put that up?
His work ethic, his confidence, and he's a very intelligent player, and he's hungry.
And I know Christian Izien led the team with 13 tackles, a career high for him. What did you see from his game and how you ended up using him?
He plays fast. He plays hard. Izzy's going to make a lot of plays. He missed a couple, but he made a lot of plays. He gave us a chance to win. He came up with some big stops at the end of the ball game on 3rd down.
J.J. Russell, tell us a little bit about his role and how you were using him. And then I know he had the chance at that interception at the end of the game. And so just evaluate that play and his game overall.
Got to come down with it. Got to come down with that ball in those situations. If they give you a gift, you got to take it. You got to be able to come down with that. He tackles in the run game well, still working through some things in the passing game.
I know Levante ended up with 2 tackles for loss. Since the league started tracking that stat, he leads the league in games with multiple TFLs. What makes him so good at that specifically, and then again at this point in his career to be able to do that?
Slithery and smart. He can read offensive line blocks. He understands what the offense is trying to do, and he can see a hole and he can go get it.
I know also Mike Edwards came back from injury and was able to get in there. How did you decide to use him, and what did you see of him coming back from injury?
Used them sparingly, just bringing them in slowly, but he understands the pass game very well. He took his drops and he's where he's supposed to be.
I know we saw Kayvon Merriweather also go down hurt because, of course, if you get one guy back, you have to lose another one. That just seems like how this season has gone for you so far. How did you end up shuffling things around when that happened, and just how you decided to use him with Mike Edwards and what that looked like after he got injured?
Well, before he got injured, he played most of the base stuff. Mike played more of the nickel stuff. And when he got injured, Tavier played some of the base. Mike played most of the nickel. So you're trying to hide their injuries while they're getting playing time.
And then I also know you had Chase handle the kickoff instead of Jack. What went into that decision-making?
Well, we were scared that Turpin, Jack hasn't really gotten them in the end zone the whole time, and they got a dangerous return man. So we put Chase in there. Chase said he can get it out of the end zone, and he did.
I know also special teams on the day, there were some starts with some tough field position due to a few different special teams things from them all overall kicking, punting, coverage units, returns, all of that. What did you kind of notice special teams-wise?
Didn't like the penalties. Did not like the penalties at all. That kind of set us back. We were already backed up. They backed us up even more. We got to do a better job in that aspect. And the punting was kind of up and down. We got to do a better job there consistently. And we got to judge the ball better when we're back there catching it.
I know that on Mondays it's very early in terms of injury things, but what do you know or not know overall, especially defensively, but the team totally? And, is there a chance Jordan Whitehead gets to start coming back soon? And is there a chance you get just more guys back in general?
Well, hopefully we're going to need them. Injury report hasn't come out yet. We'll wait and see what that looks like, and hopefully we'll see what the other guys look like as well.
All right, we have one more segment coming up here on the Todd Bowles Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles, getting the rematch now again against the Panthers pretty quickly. What is the difference in when you're facing a team after just a few weeks versus maybe if it's your division opponent you play first month of the season and then a couple months later? How interesting is that from a game planning standpoint?
Well, not much has changed from us or them, and that'll be the interesting part. When the overtime, obviously, the first time we played them was a tough game, and we got two tough division opponents. That's going to be real tough at the end. We need a win. They got a big win over Arizona last week, so their momentum's riding high as well, and we got to really take care of business.
I know Bryce Young, we've watched as he's been able to have a bit of a resurgence here towards the end of the season after getting benched earlier in the season. What are the biggest things that you've noticed that you think have enabled him to do that, and some of his biggest strengths that now that you've especially faced him once?
Better command of the offense. He understands the scheme a lot better. He knows where to go with the football. The trouble with him is he can run with the football. He's very good getting up inside. He's very fast. He's very quick. We got to do a heck of a job as far as pocket presence, understanding where he is.
I know Xavier Legette has had an injury recently. How much does that change their offense if he's able to go or not, and the things you learned about playing against him?
I don't know if it changes it much. It gives them another weapon, obviously, to incorporate with what they already have.
And what are some of the other weapons that you learned about, especially in that first matchup, and how to try to cover them and face them this next time?
Well, Hubbard's been doing a heck of a job all year. Obviously, they got Thielen back. He's a big reception. He's their medium range reception guy. He gets a lot of receptions. David Morris shows up. Tompkins shows up, and they got their tight ends back, and all of them do a heck of a job getting open.
And how about their offensive line? What did you learn in that first matchup?
Huge, real huge guys that can run the ball, especially strong up in the inside. Both guards are very tough. Both tackles do a very good job in pass pro.
And what did you learn about their defensive front in the first matchup?
They can give you problems. They mix things up a little bit. We got to do a better job of identifying it early. I think we got to beat on it later on. We got to do a better job of identifying it early and stand on blocks.
And how about their secondary? Who are some of the guys back there that have done a good job?
Well, Horn will be the main guy. He's tough in the run game. He's tough in the pass game. He'll probably go against the best guy. They'll probably put him on Mike, more or less. He's a very good press corner, and he can make a bunch of plays, so everything starts with him.
And with the holidays this week, how does that affect the schedule, or does it not in the way that you guys try to do things and also let guys celebrate with their families and also celebrate as a team?
Well, we switch Tuesday and Wednesday up. Tuesday is their normal day off. We give them Wednesday as a day off. We bring them in on Tuesday to have a full day. Until Tuesday will be Wednesday for us so they can have the day off with their families. Then we'll come back and finish the rest of the week out normal.
And are there ways you guys try to celebrate as a team or as coaches together?
Work.
Work. That sounds about right. The best Christmas present you could possibly
Work.
get, right?
Work.
Well, Coach, thank you so much as always for taking the time. We really appreciate it. And good luck this next week and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Case.